The next series of lectures will be based on preparing our children for unified tertiary matriculation examinations, with much emphasis on Nigerian and African students. And that will take us to going through the syllabus again to prepare, to make sure the question is adequate. So we're starting with cell to begin with. The cell, we all know, is the basic unit of life, capable of replicating itself. That is, a cell can start to reproduce itself. Now, let's look at the types of cells that we have. We have two types of cells, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. We all know that prokaryotic cells are cells without definite nucleus. They don't have nuclear membrane, bounded nucleus. So the nuclear material is found in the cytoplasm. And only group of organisms with this type of cell, they are grouped under the kingdom Monera. And these are viruses and bacteria. Then we have eukaryotic cells, those cells that have definite nucleus. And we find these cells in protists, the fungi, the plants and animals. You will recall that protists will have a protophyta and protozoa in this group. Fungi are those organisms without definite nucleus. Then we have plants and animals. And all these ones, the individual cells in this organism, we have to know the distinction between them. And if you recall, we have looked at these typical plant cells and animal cells in our previous lectures. So the questions on these cells are always occurring in any of these exams. Let us look at some examples of such questions. The first question states the structure that produces ATP is labeled A7, B5, C6, D1. Now, what to do is to look at 7. The structure labeled 7 is this one. What is it in this cell? And what does it do for the cell? The one labeled 5 is this structure. Can we identify it? Then the one labeled 6 is this structure here. What is its function to the cell? The one labeled 1 is this structure. Which of them produces ATP? And what is ATP? ATP is adenosine triphosphate, a power molecule. That is the fuel the muscles need to carry out its function. That is the fuel any living thing needs to be able to carry out its daily activities. So this is very vital. Where is it produced in the cell? If you look at it, the answer is 7, which is A. A is the answer to this question. Because if you choose V, that is 5. 5 do not carry out respiration. Aerobic respiration occurs in the mitochondria. So that is why the answer here is A. Now let's look at number 2. The structure labeled 5 this is a factual question. Either you know it or you don't know it. We go straight to the structure labeled number 5, and this is it. If you look at this one and this one, or this one, they are almost at the same, identical. But the difference is that this one have raw surface because of the attachment of ribosomes, protein producing body. Now, the question is, what is its name? Then we come here. Can we call it cell wall? Answer is no. The cell wall is here. This is cell wall. So, cannot be cell wall. Can we call it nucleus? Answer is no, because the nucleus is here. This is the nucleus with the chromosomes inside. Is it mitochondrion? Well, I told you earlier on this mitochondrion where energy is produced, ATP, during respiration. Now, we are left with the option C, endoplasmic reticulum. Yes, that's the answer. Number 3, the major function of the cell membrane is that we are looking at the function of cell membrane. Which of these alternatives gives us a function of cell membrane? A, delimits the cytoplasm. In other words, confines the cytoplasm of the cell. B, synthesizes protein. C, breaks down worn out organelles. And D, it is the site of photosynthesis. Now, let's start from D. Site of photosynthesis, we know, is chloroplast. It's the chloroplast that has chlorophyll for trapping solar energy. Breaking down of worn out tissues or worn out organelles in the cell is the function of lysosome. It's not cell membrane. Then synthesis of protein, which is B, is done by ribosomes. And we are not talking of the ribosomes in this case, we are talking of cell membrane. So the only answer that is, the only one that answers something like this function is delimiting the cytoplasm. In other words, confining the cytoplasm from just spreading from the cell. So that is the function of cell membrane here. A now should be chosen as the answer. Let's go to number 4. Number 4. Say, which of these activities differentiates plant cell from animal cell? We have A, respiration, B, reproduction, C, nutrition, and D, excretion. Respiration is the process of breaking down glucose. It's a metabolic process of breaking down glucose to produce energy, ATP. Reproduction is the process of giving rise to the younger ones. Both plants and animals carry out respiration. They reproduce sexually and asexually. Then nutrition is feeding on food, mode of feeding. Then excretion is removal of metabolic waste from the body. Plants remove waste. Animals remove metabolic waste. Now, let's come to nutrition. Is there any difference between the way animals feed and the way plants feed? Answer is yes. Our focus here is a typical plant cell where we have chloroplast that manufactured, which is used to manufacture food through photosynthesis. Why animals, they have no such ability, they don't have such ability. They depend on plants for their own food. Therefore, animal cell lacks chloroplast, while plant cell has chloroplast. That is the key difference between plant cell and animal cell. So, answer to our question is C. Why plants are autotrophs, animals are heterotrophs? Because of having chloroplast in plant cell, no chloroplast in animal cell. Number 5. Which of these organelles is not double membrane bounded? This question called for real understanding of the structure of a cell. There are some organelles in the cell, they are protected with double membrane. Among these options, one is not with such protection. You have to fish it out and answer the answer to the question. We have A, ribosomes, B, nucleus, C, mitochondrion, D, endoplasmic reticulum. The structure of endoplasmic reticulum is double membrane. So also mitochondrion. We have nucleus, double membrane. It's only ribosome that is not. So answer is A. Number 6. Which of these cells lack nucleus at maturity? To answer this question, you must know where all these cells are from, and you must know their nature as well. Nucleocytes is white blood cell. Erythrocytes, red blood cell. Neuron, the cell of the brain. Epithelial cells are cells of the inner lining of our inner muscles. Now, like intestines and so on. Now, the only one we know that when it is young, it has nucleus. And when it gets mature, the nucleus disappears. Is the red blood cell, which is erythrocyte. Answer is B. Now, let's look at number 7. Which of the following group of organisms is prokaryotes found? Prokaryotes are organisms with cells that have no nucleus. Now, we have A, the protophytes. B, protozoa. C, monera. D, protists. Now, this is a giveaway question. A child that knows that protists are the protophytes and protozoa, we know that these three are together. Protophytes, protozoa, and protists. Here we have Euglena, Chlamydomonas, and so on. Here we have Amoeba, Paramecium, and so on. And this is the group the 2 of them belong to. So the obvious answer is Monera, where we have viruses, bacteria, and so on. Questions number 8 and 9 are based on this diagram. And number 8 is, which of the following structures is associated with aerobic respiration? A, 1. And where is 1? Cell membrane. Because this is an animal cell. No cell wall in it. So the cell membrane. Aerobic respiration is not occurring in cell membrane. B, 2. And 2 is endoplasmic reticulum. Is known for distribution of materials in the cell. Number 3 is ribosome, which are also attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. The ribosomes are for protein synthesis. And D is mitochondrion, where aerobic respiration occurs for production of ATP. So the answer to number 8 is D, mitochondrion.